Let us pray. Dear God, creator of all, we come before you tonight with thanksgiving in our hearts. And Lord, although we're in some trying times and some challenging situations, we know, Lord, that you have our backs and that you're there with us and that you will see us through. And Lord, we ask your blessings on this board, all citizens in attendance and everybody in Anson County. Now, Lord, we ask that you be with us. Help us to keep open minds, clear hearts, to carry on the business of this board in the best interests of all involved. These and all of the blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Good morning. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. I would welcome each of you here tonight. And also I would like to ask you to remember Commissioner Thad Ursary in Richmond County. His wife died this morning, so keep the Ursary family in your prayers. Does any board member have a conflict of interest concerning agenda item that the board will address in this meeting? Let us know now. Okay, this time we'll have the approval of the agenda by the commissioners.
So move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, just one change that we can do before I finish tell you. On appearance, for Miss Terry, Miss Amy Cough will speak in her place.
So move still.
Okay. All in favor, let be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. At this time, we have a public hearing, Acts FY 2022 55310 grant.
Need you to open the public hearing.
Okay. Okay, this time do we have a motion to open public hearing?
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Scott, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
Mr. Rowe.
Take this off today. Thank you for allowing me to come. It's our annual grant time, and we're doing the 5311 and 5310 grants. I made a typographical error when I sent it to the clerk.
52, what was the numbers again?
5311, that's the admin and capital grants for ACTS, and 5310 is elderly and disabled transportation. Next year, the admin is $159,438. Capital, $14,800. We don't have any vans that met the mileage to be replaced. And then for the 5310, $40,635 is the number that we came up with, just taking the last few years of trips and multiplying, or getting an average and multiplying what it would cost to provide those trips next year, instead of just going with a flat $50,000. They wanted to be more specific. Local share for the county for the admin is $31,888. Capital $2,960, and 5310 is $8,127. And we have been in years past covering the local part was 10% for 5310, 10% for capital, 15% for the admin. But this year the State Department, NCDOT, does not fully have a handle on their cash flow situation, so they may not be able to cover any part of that grant next year.
You have any idea what it'll be next year?
Their part?
Our part, what?
Our part, that's on the, in what I said, $31,888 for administrative and $2,960 for capital.
Okay.
That's 20% for each of those.
Question.
Yes, sir.
In the event NCOT is not able to cover their part, what happens then?
Well, that's what we have in the.
That's it, okay.
This number is if they can't.
If they can't come, okay.
if they do find the money and pay it, this number will
Come down.
decrease.
Okay, thank you.
When will we know, Mr. Rao?
It'll be, probably the first quarter of fiscal 22, which would be July to September of next year.
Any more
In other
questions?
words, this money now, we could wait till next year to see if we're gonna get a grant as part of it?
We'll find out, I'm hoping in the first quarter of next year, whether or not the state will be able to contribute their 5% for admin and 10% for capital. But in case they don't have it, we're having to plan a budget 20%
I
for both of
understand
them.
that. What I was trying to get to, could we wait and see if they're gonna give us some money before we say we're gonna do it all?
No, sir, I don't believe we can, because I have to have all this, approved and processed and back in Raleigh by the 10th of December.
Okay, Mr. Manager, you have anything to say?
No, don't have anything to add. This is a public hearing, so anyone is concerned in regards to the 5310 grant or the 5311 grant regarding the AXE transportation, this is the time to have public comment. And if there's nothing, then I recommend to the board to close the public hearing.
All right. Okay, does anyone have anything to ask?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, now what kind of motion do we need to go ahead and approve these?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion that you go ahead and approve it and fill out I make that motion.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, we have our consent agenda. Thank you, Scott. We have our consent agenda tonight. I hope y'all had a chance to look at it. Minutes, property tax, JCP, DSS budget amendment, Board of Elections, Sheriff Office, Sheriff Fund and School Funds and Bond, North Carolina Grant. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. 2 seconds, all in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Miss Amy Call.
Good evening, Rashonda Mysteri sends her greetings, but I'm just here this evening to present our report to the people presentation, which is virtual this year, and the board, I believe you have a copy of it in your packet as well. And as you watch the presentation, I will take my seat and and just say thank you to all of you, and I hope you enjoy hearing the report of our outreach and community involvement in Anson County and our impacts. And as always, please contact our office if you have any questions about it.
Thank you, Amy.
2020 has not dealt us the best hand, but what's growth without change? Anson Extension staff has continued to be committed to serve, engage, and inspire the citizens of Anson County. We are still on a road rotational schedule with our staff. We are available by phone, email, text, and scheduled visits. We have continued to offer programmatic, step-by-step, educational packets, demonstrations, and hands-on learning from the comforts of your home. To date, staff has made 2,488 direct contacts. Mass and social media and other indirect contacts have totaled over 400,000. We have raised in fiscal resources over $12,000, and through programmatic efforts have had a cost saving of $11,444. The following video will show you highlighted programmatic efforts of our staff that shows you methods, outreach, and impacts with our staff here at the Extension Office. It goes to show that no matter where you are, we're an extension wherever. We hope you enjoy this video.
That was a great job. We thank y'all for the work that you are doing in Anson County. Do any commissioner have anything to say?
Great job.
Good work.
Chris, could you check Mr. Street of the Monitor tomorrow, please?
I sure will.
Thank you.
I'll check that.
He knows about mine.
Oh, good, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this time we have Central Line Regional Council Land Use Plan.
Good evening, everybody. How are you today?
Right.
Good.
Good. I'll lower this just a little. I'm short. Okay. There it is. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm going to provide or speak with you today about the work that we're doing to update the Anson County Comprehensive Plan. And I want to hear from you about what's important as we look to the future. updating the county's comprehensive plan. We are assisting in the update because the current comprehensive plan was adopted in 2002 with a horizon year of 2021. So it's just 2 months away, right around the corner. And a comprehensive plan really represents the vision, values, and goals for guiding future land use and physical development of land and infrastructure in the county. It guides the decisions of appointed and elected officials, staff, and developers in making day-to-day decisions related to land use, capital improvements, and regional coordination. And Central Iowa Regional Council was brought on to help update the plan to represent the new vision, values, and goals to meet the future needs out to 2040. Now, another key aspect is that in 2019, the North Carolina General Assembly updated the planning statutes. You might have heard 160D presented before, and what it does is it requires an update to the zoning ordinance and ordinances, but it also requires that communities keep comprehensive plans reasonably up to date. And this is in order to maintain your community land development tools. And so this update will meet that new requirement from the General Assembly. To help guide us in this update, we're working with a steering committee that has met 5 times so far and represents both public and private organizations and individuals from the county. There are 10 people on that steering committee, including Commissioner Woodburn here, as well as Amy, who I know was here earlier, and some other folks. I think JD is in the crowd too. So we have a really good representation, and a lot of people have contributed their time and energy to providing, to guiding Central Iowa staff. So I just want to walk through the schedule so that you understand where we've been and where we're going. So this project began in the fall of last year by Central Iowa working with the steering committee to create the steering committee, but also in the fall conducting public engagement to really understand from Anson County residents and stakeholders what is important to them and what they value. And then, of course, we got thrown the curveball of the pandemic. So January through July really focused on data collection, analysis, and interpretation. And then in July, we brought back the steering committee to talk about the future land use map and the vision and guiding principles that we heard that are valued from residents. So where we are today is we are going to embark soon next month on the next round of stakeholder engagement to make sure that what we've done so far represents what Anson County residents want. And then come back to you all, this board, in February for that plan to be adopted. So I just want to focus a little bit on what we did with stakeholders back last year this time. So in the fall, we had 5 open house events across the county in Morven, Peachland, Lylesville, Wadesboro, and Ansonville. And we also had a survey that people could either do online or at the open house, and we had over 250 participants take that survey, and we asked them what matters to them in the county, where do they want the county to be in the future, and what values or aspects or features of the county are most important to them. And what we heard from residents is that they really value the rural and small town living, that the county is family friendly, and that agriculture and natural resources and the outdoors are very important. So this information was brought back to the steering committee, and they provided input to help hone in on really what is most important from a comprehensive land use plan perspective. And this is what was used to help guide the comprehensive plan, vision, and guiding principles. But before I get into that, I want to tell you what we're going to be doing very soon over the next 2 months. So first is coming to you as the board to present the vision and guiding principles and get your input. Then in December, we will go to the planning board to talk about the future land use map and the goals and strategies. And then throughout the month of December, we will talk to residents through surveys, media, and public places to make sure that we get their input and adjust the comprehensive land use plan as needed to meet their needs and desires. So what I'm asking you all today, as I go through this, is to think about what's most important to the county as we look out to 2040, and what types of recommendations or strategies do you think must be included to guide the county forward? So I'm going to start with the vision statement, and just want to provide a definition of what we are looking for, or what we looked for in a vision statement. It describes what the county wants to be in the future. It's aspirational, forward-thinking, and concise. So this is the proposed vision statement for the Anson County Comprehensive Plan. Anson will be a dynamic and inclusive county that celebrates its rural heritage and is committed to creating a prosperous, livable community. And then guiding principles. These flow down from the vision statement and really serve as the backbone and framework for making decisions and realizing that vision. They represent the values and beliefs of residents, organizations, and stakeholders, and they create that culture where everyone understands what is important and what is valued in guiding day-to-day decisions. So the 5 guiding principles are livability, to promote the unique places and characteristics that make the county an attractive and livable community. Economic growth, fostering economic development by supporting small businesses and providing services and opportunities for economic mobility of residents. Community growth, support physical infrastructure investments and opportunities that promote quality of life, mobility, and health. And then natural environment, preserve the county's natural, historic, recreational, and agricultural resources and landscapes. And then services, providing high quality, responsive, and equitable services and programs to the public. So now my request of you today is based on what you've heard of the vision and the guiding principles. What do you think will be important for the county as we look ahead to 2040? And what types of recommendations or strategies do you think will be important in these categories? And I'd be happy to go back if you would like to see that. Or I would be happy to answer any questions you may have also.
You want to have a question?
No questions, and when I was reading through this, and I mean, nothing jumped out at me being off base, off track. And right now, I don't really have anything to add to anything that's up to.
Looked like to me it was done well.
Yes.
Great job. Great job. Ricky.
Commissioners, if you happen to have any feedback that you might think of later on, feel free to send it to myself, and we'll get it to the COG, Ms. Jessica, to help us with this in the future. We are moving toward wrapping this up, and so any more input that you may have, we would want to have it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Sheriff Reed. Sheriff Office Vehicles.
Good evening to the Board of Commissioners. Before I get started, I'd like to thank our chairman, Mr. Chairman Ross Streeter, for the support that you've given since I've been the sheriff here in Anson County. You've been a good supporter of mine in the sheriff's office in the county, and I'd like to thank you for that. Commissioner Sykes, I also like to thank you for everything you've done for the county. You've always been a good supporter. And the board as a whole, I can say I've never heard no. I've heard we'll try to do it or whatever, but I've never heard no. And also our county manager for the help that he's always given me. With that being said, I'm here for the vehicles for the sheriff's office. I'm usually here every October, November of every year asking for new vehicles. We do at the current time have 7 vehicles that's in use. That's right at 100 miles, some over 100 miles. 100,000, I'm sorry. And that's with the wear and tear we putting on them. And because of the COVID, we're also running, crisscrossing the county. And this county is 536 square miles. So we are putting miles, and these are hard miles that we're putting on cars that they're not making the way that they used to make them. They used to make them real good. I remember when I started, I had a big Crown Vic and that thing go everywhere. And but the 2 options that we have in your package is option 1, and I have discussed it with Mr. Gardner, who's been very helpful in everything I do also on the financial side. The first option is 3 cars and 1 SUV. The cars are for the road guys, the SUV is for the supervisor over the road, which is a Lieutenant Little. And you see that's $168,000. The second option would be adding a 5th car to it, and that's a little bit more, it's $208,000. And as you can see, we add equipment for every vehicle, tags and taxes for every vehicle. And that's about, as you see in your package, that's about what I have on that. And I would appreciate your consideration for option 2 if we can.
So that is your recommendation, Sheriff?
Yes, sir, option 2.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I would like to make a motion, if you don't mind, to approve this. I think, Sheriff, they have really taken care of the cars. They're the cleanest cars I have seen in any department. Nobody in North Carolina can touch it. And I appreciate the work y'all are doing. That's option 2.
I second it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, and now if the board, there's a motion on the floor, obviously, for option 2, but you'll see the financing recommendations that are included, where both options were bid out. The rates were returned the same for either option. Obviously, the payments are a little bit different, but if the board would consider to include that, that would be our guidance to move forward.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Fine, my motion. Okay, we'll have a motion.
Okay, so you amended the motion to include the bank proposal for 2 as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've heard the motion in the second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
All right.
Question. And I think it's a very timely question given the current economic climate that we find ourselves in. I support option 2, Sheriff Reed, and I also support BB&T. But you know, we could save $7,250.71 by paying cash for these vehicles, and we're only talking about $215,617.71. I really would like the board to consider paying cash for these vehicles and saving that $7,000 and change.
Harry,
Is that possible?
Harry, is that possible?
So I'll only speak, and I don't want to step on Mr. Monroe's toes. I'll only speak in the framework of which the way things have been done, and we have managed debt payments. And so we have a schedule of debt payments that we manage, and what we try to do is we try to keep the same amount of payment, in this case for the Sheriff's Department, even. So every year we have 3 payments every year. So this is the last year of a 3-year loan. This whatever proposal would be added next year, so we're back to 3 payments again next year. Again, it's certainly to the board's purview as to how you want to handle that, but that's to keep things smooth. From a cash standpoint, that's the way we've done it.
And I understand that fully. But you know, you look at $7,200 in change that we could save by paying cash for these vehicles, and we certainly have the wherewithal, I believe, to do it. So that would be my strong recommendation to the board.
Well, so just so I'm clear about what your question is, and this is after the vote, so I just want to make sure. The question that you're having is that the $208,000 be paid in cash, or, I'm sorry, I just want some clarity on what you're messaging.
I would say pay for these vehicles with cash and save the finance fee of $7,250.71.
As we currently have it budgeted right now in our budget, we don't have that at the ready because we do things financing, correct?
That's correct, with the first payment doing arrears, so this would be a straight fund balance move in current year.
We would have to go and ask you for fund balance to to pay for this off right now because we have a cycle that's currently in place. I understand your concern in regards to the $7,000, but that would require the board to make a decision to spend an extra $200,000 tonight to say $7,000 over 3 years.
$7,000 over 3 years?
$7,250.71 over 3 years.
Well, it's actually over 3 payments, but it's really over 4 years. It's the first payment doesn't start for a year.
We gonna pay the payment.
So it's actually over 4 years, because the first payment, these are annual payments in arrears. So the first payment won't be until a year from now, of which we would present to you in the upcoming budget. So there's an amendment that's associated with this to receive the proceeds from this to pay, to buy the cars, but not for fund balance. But that's again just so everybody's on the same page.
Okay, it sounds like that's a very valid point Commissioner Gatewood, but it sounds like based on the I guess the financial plan for the county is that we proceed as outlined, but it may be something we look at going forward, do something different for right now.
If that's the will of the board, then we can start structuring things to wean ourselves off of this routine. But again, I would recommend that we don't go out into fund balance to save that kind of money over a 3 or 4 year period. So if that's the will of the board, we can start structuring our payments to reduce the amount of debt we take out in regards to these cars and pay them up front over a 3 or 4 year period.
When you need to do that at budget time?
It will be at budget time, yes, sir.
Okay.
This is all, just FYI, this is also how we've purchased ambulances as well in the past when we've kind of retooled that fleet over the last few years. A 3-year financing instrument, annual payments, first payment in arrears. So again, it's stretched out over a 4-year period, but the first payment is in the future budget year. But this is, because of the environment, this is the actual lowest rate that we financed anything in years. It's a 1.73 rate.
Thank you, Mr. Garner, and thank you, board, for at least listening to my suggestion. And I think it needs to be a topic that we discuss at our next budget meeting, because $7,200, that's a lot of money that we could save just by making the decision tonight to pay cash.
I agree, so I guess by consensus then, that is our plan moving forward, is that we'll move in that direction for the vehicles, is to pay cash.
As far as the used vehicle, do we get much from them?
We liquidate those off of a government site called GovDeals if we can't use them in another department. I've got a set of keys on my desk now on one from Sheriff Reed that's been declared surplus that we're moving to elderly services so that we're able to reuse the fleet If they're, if they weren't deemed roadworthy for emergency services in terms of speed and the conditions, that they may still have a useful life in another department. I know in animal services, animal shelter, animal services, they've picked up vehicles. The health department has done that as well. And there may have been a QRV when I first got here at emergency medical services that came from your office as well. We try to use them and not sell them if we can, to try to wean as much life out of them as we can.
Okay, all opposed to the motion, like sign. We did the approval, but we didn't do opposed. Any opposition? Hearing none, the motion carries unanimously. Now the meeting's back in the hands of chairman.
Okay, thank you. And again, Sheriff, we thank you for the job and you and your staff is doing.
Yes, sir, thank you and all the commissioners, for your support.
Mr. Larry Newton.
Yes. Good evening, Commissioners.
Evening.
All I have is a request from Piedmont Natural Gas to, for you, they're asking you to approve a temporary construction easement on county property located at 901 North Green Street and Sites Avenue. They're in the process, or they're going to add a new gas line, and they're going to upgrade an existing gas line that's there. In my conversation with their agent, Diane Johnson, she has indicated to me that the gas line will not be on county property. It actually will be on NCDOT. But let me say, if for some reason it would be, or it would be determined that it needed to come across county property, they would then come back and negotiate with you again a fee for the right to do that. But tonight, all they're asking you to do is just approve on county property a temporary construction site. My conversations with them also, I've asked them how long would they be occupying the site, and they said approximately 30 days. If you look on the front page here, or your cover sheet, they actually sent us an easement for you to approve or to deny. There is some compensation tied to this proposal that they've made. You also see on page 4 aerial exhibits of the temporary construction easement that they would be using. Also in the agreement, you find that they will put the property as close back to what it was when they started at the end of their project. Page 5, you'll see that there are some trucks, freight carriers, parking vehicles, or tractor and trailers on that property. You can see it from the aerials. Upon your approval, they are asking that the county have those trucks removed so that they can use the aerial area for the construction. Actually, we have an ordinance already in place. We wouldn't have to take any additional action from the board here to remove vehicles that are parked on county property. So we could exercise that to get those removed, and they're going to ask us to do that if you approve it. If you look at the pipeline survey, which is page 7 and 8, is actually the general statute. They could basically have done their preliminary work just by general statute without your approval, just by notifying us and waiting 30 days. So they but come to us and ask it, and then page 9 is the W-9 form that we would have to furnish them in the result, as a result of them paying us that additional fee.
Larry, how did the county get this property?
It was in foreclosure. And it was bought at the courthouse steps because no one bid. I was on the property this morning. There's some trucks out there now. You see trucks in the photos.
Yeah, that's the old F&M funeral home.
It is the OF, yes. And I will say this, there was questions early on when I first got tied up with Piedmont Natural Gas, were they tanks in the ground there? And it has not been determined whether they are or not. But they have checked with the state and there's none registered there, but at the time they would have been put in, they weren't registering the tanks anyway. So there still could be tanks and there could be contamination on that property as a result of it. When I was out there today, I looked for, there's an island out there where it looks like they may have been gas pumps at some time. And then I also looked for vent pipes to see if I could see if there were any vent pipes coming up out of the ground anywhere. In the photos that I took this morning, you actually can see some vent pipes running over to the building and coming up beside the building. Now whether they're disconnected, the tanks have been removed, I don't know. But they're just asking you tonight for approval of a temporary construction easement there to do their upgrades and then put the property back as close to it was when they arrived.
And Mr. Newton, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what is your recommendation?
I have no problem with it. As a matter of fact, they'll probably leave the property in better shape than they find it. So I'm okay with it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this easement, this temporary easement. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Newton. We have no public addresses to the board tonight, so we'll move right along to our appointments. The planning board have an appointment to appoint Mr. Jeff Boothby to the Anson County Planning Board, representing District 5, Mr. Gatewood District.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion so that we appoint Jeff Boothby to the Anson County Planning Board.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have excuse me for a minute. My baby just walked in the back door. We have a motion to approve, I think, all in favor, let it be known by aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous, thank you. I got off there a little bit. The Acts Advisory Board, they are asking to approve Ms. Cam Giovanni, how you pronounce it?
Giovanni.
Okay. To the planning board. And a motion to reappoint Ms. Chrissy Pfeiffer, Rodney Diggs, Scott Cubs. Do we have a motion?
Motion, I make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Mr. Manager.
Well, before I jump into my manager's report, I will make one comment to the commissioners, is that those appointments that we currently have for our long tenured commissioners are also going to be something that we want to consider for next time around with the Sandhills mental health. We want to look at that, and again on ACTS as well, we'll have some vacancies coming up, and if the board's will, we can maintain those current positions held by Commissioner Ross Streeter and by Bobby Sykes as well, without having to go and appoint new members to those boards. So just keep that in mind and moving forward. If that's the board's will, we can do that. Continuity helps in those changing environments. We have some projects coming up in mental health that might be useful to have some continuity there. So I'll jump into my manager's report right now. The first one is regards to the Anson Middle School project. As you know, toward the end of the last fiscal year, we kind of put that on the back burner. And since then, with the new superintendent, we've had some conversations, and I think I tried to keep you up to date with those conversations in your bi-weekly communication. I've been to the Board of Education to speak with them in regards to the middle school project. They are very enthused to move forward with it. However, cautiously, and they want to do it correctly. They want to work with us, and I think it's in our best interest to work together. I recommended to them that it will be sometime in the February of next year that we can have some time set aside to start going at this project from scratch, completely from scratch, and start something that's going to be good for the county moving forward. They seem to be an approval of that. They seem to support that. And so I'll propose to the commission here that they select members of the commission to be part of that formula, that task force to help formulate what we need to have going forward. I have already kind of nominated the finance officer and myself to be there, but also we need commissioner input to move forward, and we want to do it smartly and dutifully. We also talked about the LGC and what some things we need to do to make sure when we go to the LGC. One of the things that they're going to want to make sure is that we are all on one accord in financing and on the project in general. Dissension going to the LGC will look negatively upon us, and so in regards to this education, Board of Education and Board of Commissioners, we want to make sure we're doing things well. They received that well, and I trust that we can get started when it's at your leisure, when you're prepared. All things are on the table for discussion in regards to that middle school, location, size, everything. So that's where we are with that. Any questions in regards to the middle school project?
Are they still looking at the same site?
The site is what they're looking at, but again, that's also a discussion piece. Because of the investment that's been made and what is the site work that was done on a piece of property, they want to kind of keep that at the forefront of options. But that's not holding us tied to it. That's for a discussion piece as well.
Mr. Monroe, the school board hired an architect. What is the status of that contract, please?
The architect was, that contract was dissolved at the beginning of October. They have ended that contract and also ended the contract with the construction manager at risk. So those two things, we have no ties to those former contractual obligations. They're free of that. However, we have expended about $900,000 of that $20 million that we had. We're down to $19.1 million. That's in regards to the work that was done prior. So, understanding that, we want to maximize as much work as possible that was done on that to not lose the value of those dollars. But they are open to having a conversation moving forward that brings us all on the same page.
Okay, I think that's some good information, and the board, I just hope y'all, Mr. Woodburn and Ms. Stetler have done a good job on that board.
Yeah, just let them keep considering.
And, you know, if they're willing to continue to serve, or do anyone else want to serve? I know y'all know what's going on.
I mean, I don't have a problem continuing. Actually, it's been a valuable learning experience. I know what to do next time. Know more of what to do next time.
Okay, and so we'll continue our conversations with the school system, but we'll pick it up in earnest in February. Then next, I had IT infrastructure. This is really a heads up to the Board of Commissioners. We are undergoing a significant upgrade in our technology, and it's been some fits and starts because of the significant amount of work that needs to be done. We have for a long time been with an IT consultant that we probably didn't get the highest quality of work from the consultant, although we got some decent work from them. The things that we need for the 21st century are lacking. So over the last 3 or 4 months, we've reached out to companies to provide an assessment. And the assessment came back with some pretty high marks that we need to go out there and invest to make sure our network is secure and is capable of handling the need in this now post-COVID-19 environment. And we're going to make a significant investment, over $100,000, in the purchase of new hardware equipment that will prepare us going forward. I have a network assessment that was done by this company that gave us very low marks in a lot of places. And this investment that we're looking at will pretty much correct every deficiency that we came across. One big purchase, one big time, hopefully one big fix. As opposed to dragging it out over several months, hopefully this will be done, and within over several years rather, it'll be done over several months to get this resolved. So I can give you more detail on that, but a lot of it's technical talk. But I want to let you know that that will be coming up to your purview very soon, within the next several weeks, to make a decision, or I'll make a recommendation. But it's something that we really need to move forward with. We have a lot of the money already currently in the budget on the capital outlay for IT. Again, that was money that was redeployed from our old IT consultant contract that's been recycled, and now we're going to spend it toward our increased enhancement of IT. So, any questions there?
Just one's kind of is related, but it's along the same lines, and we don't need to get into discussion. Are you still making progress on the resolution of the outstanding charges from that contract?
Yeah, we're making some headway. We have reached out to another firm to help us with that. We're going to be in discussion with that for quite some time.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, and the last piece is the Viper 800 radio system, Viper radio system, 800 megahertz radio. Last month we you passed a budget amendment that allowed us to use some of those CARE dollars to start this process. Well, what I'm asking for right now is the continuation of that process. To use some more of those CARE dollars, we're looking at $410,000 to pull down to purchase radios for our entire public safety employees. We have for emergency services and for the sheriff. We have amassed about $410,000, what's going to be needed from CARES dollars to take care of that. That's just for the radios. That's one budget amendment. The next budget amendment I have is based on last month's request by the fire districts. I think you all received phone calls from every member of the fire district asking about the man down function, the man down functionality. That piece, we're looking at having that be used for fund balance because of the large amount. That's about $330,000. Believe it or not, we have a budget amendment out here for that as well. We have, and the reason why we're not using all CARES funds for that is that we have some other wages and other specific CARES fund dollars that we need to spend those on as well. So we want to maximize those dollars first to make sure. We know the radios will be covered. The man down function, we want to make sure that that's going to be taken care of, and we want to use fund balance for that. We have to still take care of wages, we still take care of PPE, and we still have a couple more expenses that are CARES funds related, so we want to make sure we have those dollars available. And so right now, I'm asking that we use fund balance to cover that up for the man down function that the fire districts requested.
Okay, do we need to make a motion to approve this 410?
Yes.
Okay, what was the other figure now?
The other one is $344,764.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we approve the $410,000 from CARES funding and the $344,764 from fund balance for the radios and safety features.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for approve the budget amendment for the Viper system. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I have no report tonight. Do any commissioners have any concerns, petition, announcement, or comments tonight?
Mr. Gibbs.
I just want to say it's been nice working with y'all. I really felt good doing it.
Okay.
Alright. As you all know, we have two outgoing commissioners And at this time, we would like to acknowledge them for their loyal service in Anson County. I would like to acknowledge Commissioner Bobby Sykes, if he would come forward, and Commissioner Dr. Jim Sims.
I'm going to begin with a little saying that I've heard over the years that seems to be appropriate tonight. Isn't it strange that kings and queens, princesses, just regular people like you and I, each one of us is responsible for building from now until eternity. The Lord has given us the tools. Our Lord and Savior has also given us the rules and the regulations in the Bible. We will move forward with these in mind. If we do things that are not done properly, then time that we spend on earth will be flown, it will be gone, and it will be wasted. Bobby Sykes is the epitome of a person who is a doer, who does things, a volunteer, a contributor, a person who is honest, intelligent, dependable, and very seldom ever misses a meeting or involvement in an action of this board. I'm also proud to say he is a personal friend of mine. I can't tell you how much we will miss him. We admire him, we respect him, and we can't say thank you enough for all of the things that he has done, all the stepping stones that he has made for Ansonville, for the county commissioners, and for the entire county. Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Congratulations. I present to you in recognition of 16 years of service this plaque from the Anson County Board of Education.
Board of Commissioners.
I would love to ask, can I get my family if you can get a picture? You know.
You take over.
Wait. At this time, we're going to ask Chairman Ross Streeter to come forward, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sims.
And ask Commissioner Gatewood if he would come forward.
I owed you more, but I didn't want to take up so much time.
Commissioner Streeter, it is my honor, and I am humbled to make this presentation of a special letter addressed to you. says the Honorable Ross Streeter, Chairman, Anson County Board of Commissioners. Dear Chairman Streeter, congratulations on your retirement from the Anson County Board of Commissioners. You have the distinct honor of being the longest serving county commissioner in Anson County and one of the longest serving commissioners in the state of North Carolina. A remarkable accomplishment. Your 32 years of representing the people of Morven, McFarland, and the surrounding areas have been invaluable to the growth of Anson County. I am grateful for your outstanding service to your community, Anson County, and the state of North Carolina. I hope your retirement will bring you many years of joy and fulfillment. With warm personal regards, I am very truly yours, Roy Cooper, Governor of North Carolina. And I present you with the letter. Thank you very, very much.
At this time, I'd like to recognize Vice Chair Jarvis Woodburn.
Mr. Chairman, it's my pleasure to present to you a letter from the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. It comes from the President, President Ronnie Smith from Martin County, and the Executive Director, Mr. Kevin Leonard. And just to not prolong the meeting and to expedite time, I'm not going to read all of your accomplishments, but I will read the introduction. It says, Dear Chairman Streeter, says, congratulations on your service to the fine citizens of Morven, McFarland, and the Gulledge area on the Anson County Board of Commissioners. You have served continuously and faithfully for the past 32 years, thus making you the longest serving Anson County Commissioner and one of the longest in the state of North Carolina. And actually, you're in a very small and elite group of county commissioners in that length of service. Your services to the citizens of Anson County, Morven, McFarland, and Gulledge and the citizens of Anson County is unsurpassed by any of us here on this board, and I don't think that we will exceed that.
Well, we got one coming up.
But you know, you have done an excellent job, and that speaks to what you've done. You've never hesitated to tackle the tough issues. You've withstood, you know, the criticism that we get from time to time, but you've always forged ahead to do the things that's best for the citizens of Anson County, and for that you are appreciated. So once again, let's see. So thank you for your outstanding service to your community, Anson County, and the state of North Carolina. Best wishes to you and your family as this era of your community service comes to an end. So once again, we thank you for all that you've done.
I would like for my family to
Just a moment, just a moment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'd like to recognize Miss Lula Jackson, please.
I'd like to say to Mr. Ross Streeter, you know that the Department of Social Services could not let you walk away without making a presentation, because you have been on the Anson County Department of Social Services Board since August the 17th of 1995. That was your first meeting and when you were sworn in, and we are just grateful for your support of Anson County Department of Social Services, for all the things that you have done to support the citizens of Anson County, the employees of the Department of Social Services. So I would ask those members 17, 1995, to August to June the 2nd, 2020. Presented this day, November 10th, 2020. Thank you for your service.
Chairman Streeter, finally, you know they always say you save the best for last, and this is Anson County proud, Commissioner Sturgeon.
Go sit down.
Say that.
Yeah,
You sure?
for real, for real.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
You lost power quickly.
Turn the lights back on 1 minute for me. To our amazing county manager, Mr. Monroe, our phenomenal clerk, Ms. Cannon, our honored attorney, Mr. Forbes, to the distinguished board, to our distinguished board, and our jury that's here tonight. I stand before you, come here, Chris, with your sexy self. Come here, mesh the button for me now. I stand before you to present evidence that at one point in time, Chairman Commissioner Ross Streeter, and we thank God for you, did have hair. Press the button, babe. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's not a weave. For real. It's not dyed black, that's the real color. Am I correct, Miss Kathy? That was his real hair. This is, and I ask that at the end of this presentation, that his best friend stand with me as we present him his award. And there's no dye in it. Exhibit 1, go to the first one, the next one. To number 3, go to number 3. 4. This is Mr. Streeter, Commissioner Streeter, at his swearing in with his best friend, as you will see, Harold Smith. With both of them have served 32 years as a county commissioner. Rose, did he tell you at one time you were his best friend? He told me that too. For real. I believe he did that to keep us from getting child support out of him. Exhibit 5, go to the next one. Even though on this one you'll see that the hair is receding and the beard is getting gray, at no time during his service did he cease from helping the community, not just Marvin, but all of Anson County. And we've also ventured into Richmond and Union County to help them. On this, he is receiving his 30-year plaque for helping and being the county commissioner that he is. Exhibit 6, please. In 2011, Anson County was blessed to get Toys for Tots. Now, I don't know how he got in the picture between me and my man, but he eased his way over there. I didn't ask Commissioner Streeter to come on the board. He asked me to be a part. And he has been a loyal supporter and contributor ever since 2011. Next slide, please. This, we was honored to be a part of the largest registration drive, not just in Anson County, but North Carolina, when we elected President Barack Obama. Next slide, please. Oh, go back to that other slide. Chris. On this slide, you will see all the hair is gone. And the beard has got gray. And Scott, I believe somebody told him that black make you look slimmer. I don't believe it's working for him today. Next slide, please. We were honored to be with him doing one of his signing ins and swearing ins at the Board of Election. This is last year at our Toys for Tots function before COVID came, and Mr. Streeter was there. And Kathy, he didn't dance with anybody that night. I don't believe he can. Do you, Rose? I don't believe it, no. But we thank God for him being there that night with us. This is, as Miss Lord have mercy, Lula said, Miss Lula Jackson said, in 1995 he became on the Stand Here Mental Health Board. But I believe the reason they put him on there because he qualified. And that's why he communicates and helps so good, because he knows what the patient is talking about. And we thank God for you. Next slide, please. The very last time we were able to go, Miss Cannon, where were we at?
Hickory.
In Greensboro. Hickory.
Hickory.
And we were honored to go to Hickory to the County Commissioners Convention. And we were honored to be a part of it with Mr. Streeter. As you will see there, all the hair is gone. All the hair is gone, but he's still serving. Commissioner Streeter, we thank you. We thank God for you. We ask you to come forward. Ross, let me tell you what I did. I looked up. Y'all give him a hand as he come forward. Ross, I looked your name up to see exactly what it stood for. Mr. Smith, will you come forward, please? Y'all give him a hand as he come forward. I looked up Ross Streeter's name, Ross, and the definition of Ross says a sneeze, a powerful horse. I said, now Ross paid somebody to put that in there. I don't know what kind of powerful horse look. There was that song about the old gray mare. But to our commissioner, our chairman, presented to Ross Streeter for 32 years. 32 years of outstanding service. We thank God for you. We thank God for what you've done, and we thank God for this night. Mr. Smith, would you like to have words?
Thank you. I'm trying to join you.
All you can.
Come on, stand up, come up. All right.
No, who's more than her?
First of all, I like to thank Ms. Ford we built 4 elementary schools since I've been on the board. But really been 5, but Dr. Tim to be allowed. But we built 4 elementary schools and we renovated the high school several times. But I wanna thank the county, I wanna thank the managers and the staff of Anson County for, you know, working with me. And I know I might not have been the easiest person to work with all the time, but I did my best and I did what I thought was best for Anson County. And again, I just wanna thank everyone, especially the citizens of Anson County.
She shows who's been spoiling it.
It's like you should give me a bunch of slides. We made a movie. You have a lot of children there, we can make a lot of pictures.
And I hope,
Before you close out the meeting, guys, we have some refreshments in the room. Anyone that wanna stay and say greetings to them, you're welcome. We wanna thank our clerk for setting it up. You're welcome to go in with him, or get a carry out, or stay a minute with him and Mr. Sykes. We thank God for both of you.
again, I wanna thank everyone for what you've done tonight and thank you for our service together. I especially wanna thank the governor of North Carolina for the award and the more Gully Township. Are there any more business to be brought before the board tonight?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
One thing, Mr. Chairman, before we turn in reference to what the county manager mentioned, are you and Mr. Sykes willing to continue serving on those boards that you're currently on? So that we know now that whenever it comes up, we can just go ahead and make the appointment.
Yes, I would love to continue to serve on the Sand Hill board because we have some projects that we're working on and I think some of the projects will benefit Anson County.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sykes?
I got such a big family and so many grandyoungins, I got about as much as I can take care of.
Okay, fair enough, just wanted to know.
I got one handicapped grandson I used to care for supper every night till a while back, and I've got 6, so, but I wanna continue that.
Okay, I understand, all right, thank you.
And he's the biggest farmer in Anson County, probably.
Yes, sir. Maybe that, yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, let it be known, aye for the last time.
Aye. All right.